Razabani for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. Delighted to have with me in his room, quite calm and relaxed, the source himself, the writer, the author, the singer, the rapper and the fighter, Mr. Lawrence Okolie. Lawrence, firstly, how are we doing?
Yeah, I feel good. Just eating a nice meal, so I'm feeling, fresh and happy right now. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. Before we talk anything about, Saturday night, I haven't really spoken to you lately. I know you fought in December, but how difficult has kind of the last 12 months been with this whole pandemic and restrictions and not being able to kind of adapt and live normal life?
Yeah, I think it's been, difficult for everyone. Boxers not being able to get fights, but I try to look for the positives, setting up some, gym in my place to be able to do little runs here and there. So, it's forced everyone to have to adapt. And, the people that, have adapted are, going to be able to perform on stages like this now. So hopefully, the work I did over the last year is going to show this weekend.
Lawrence, let's go back a number of years. You came from the streets, you were in McDonald's, you didn't know what you wanted to do, you took up boxing. Yeah. And I know the focus has been, the emphasis has been McDonald's to boxing, but that is a real change. Have you ever just sat down and thought, wow, I was, selling burgers and chips, and now all of a sudden I'm about to achieve my goal and dream, which doesn't normally happen to a lot of people?
Usually I don't really like to do that. I just kind of live in the moment and almost just shun it. But obviously with the book, the 40 ways to change your life and stuff like that, it's kind of, I don't want to say forced me, but it's made me kind of reflect. And then it's allowed me, that's why I don't feel any pressure right now. I don't feel any problems, because it allows me to see how far I've come. So every moment I'm here and able to box and headline, it's a blessing, So I feel blessed, and I do look back and I do congratulate myself. But ultimately, I just have to enjoy every moment.
I know you love your family dearly. I know you put some posts out last year about buying your mother's house, redecorating your mother's house. Does that give you more satisfaction than your own personal goals and achievements?
I think so. I was speaking to someone earlier today, and they think something might be wrong with me. Do you know what I mean? Because it's I'm quite in big occasions and stuff like that, I kind of just take it all in my stride, and it's weird because when I achieve stuff, it doesn't make me all of a sudden feel like this filled up. But then when it is stuff to do with my mum or my friends or stuff, little stuff where we're able to do stuff together, or I'm able to help them to achieve something, that definitely touches me more. I feel much more sense of pride in them moments. So yeah, I think as much as obviously winning this fight is for me and my own legacy, for me, I think the aftermath, God willing, I'm able to win, is being able to take the belt to my mum and say your sacrifice has paid off. Being able to take it to my brother and say all the belief that you had in me as well is paid. Do you know what I mean? And just show obviously in that it's a symbol of how far we've all come together. So yeah, I'm excited.
I remember about just over 4 years ago, I got a call from a friend of yours who's become a friend of mine, and he said, yo, you need to interview this guy. His name's Lawrence Okolie. He's going to become professional soon. So I did, and it was at some show. I can't remember what show it was. And then he gave me your number after your first fight, and he said, stay on top of this guy. He's going to be the world champion. And we exchanged messages, which was on the 26th of March 2017. So almost exactly 4 years ago. I know it could have been sooner because of the pandemic, but almost 4 years ago. Did you even think that in that time frame you'll be fighting for a world title?
I always hoped, I remember saying in interviews and stuff in 2016, 17, I would love to win a world title. My aim is to win a world title before the next Olympics, because I watched all the 2012 Olympians, or I went back and researched the 2008 Olympians, and you see that the Olympians have an opportunity to now go and cement themselves as professionals, and then there's a new crop of Olympians, after 2021 Olympics. like a lot of them I know, and some of them I'm excited to get to meet. It's their time to be the Olympians, the gold medalists, the bronze, the whatever. Hopefully they will get gold, but you know, it's up to me to cement myself as a pro in that time. So I feel happy. It doesn't. It's easy to say, you know, oh, it was always going to happen, but I do feel like honoured and blessed, and stuff has fallen in a way that, with the hard work, we're here now. So I just hope I can put a exclamation mark in it all and just really kind of like get it done.
When you fought Isaac Chamberlain, you came in dancing into the ring. Can't remember what song it was.
Man's not hot.
Man's Not Hot, that's right. And then Whyte Camacho, you had somebody sing you into the ring. Yeah. With Glowacki, is there a sense of more excitement, or is it a sense of more pressure? Or do you just ignore that, the fact that there's a world title on the line and you're just being Lawrence Okolie?
Yeah, no, most certainly. I don't really allow myself to think, oh, okay, I need to do this to get it. It's like, for me, when it's all said and done, you know, we can talk about it, you know, taking the belt home to my mum and did all, but really and truly, all that I'm really focused on is the game plan, or, you know, how to react to what he does and how to impose myself on him. Because ultimately, when it's all said and done, it's a fight, and we could have been boxing for a European title or whatever. So all of that, the other stuff is just a bonus. Yeah, I think that, I hope that answers. Yeah.
You got a bit of criticism from people about your style. People say it holds too much, etc. In your last fight, we saw major improvements where you were more focusing on your advantages of your reach, your jab, etc. Is that something that has been important to you and focal point with Shane to adapt and change it slightly so you can come a bit more entertaining for the fans?
I think, to me, it's not actually about the entertainment for fans. That's always a blessing, you know. But for me, it's about being as effective as I can be. I do enjoy knockouts, and I enjoy watching my fights back. But there's been certain fights that I don't even watch back. So when I get criticism for that, I don't really take it badly, because, you know, it happened. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's not about that. It's about being effective to be able to, you know, win fights easier. You know, as much as, for example, the excessive holding or any of this stuff, it does allow me to. It had allowed me to win certain fights in convincing fashion. I think it's more convincing if I'm able to use the fact that I'm 6'5", I've got long reach, good power, and good composure. If I can apply them better, I'll be able to perform at a higher level, because there's certain people you just cannot do those things with. Do you know what I mean? And certain refs who won't allow it. So I had to, and have to continue to work on it.
Glowacki has only had 2 losses, Maris Berdis and obviously Alexander Usyk, 2 elite fighters. He's a southpaw. What do you make of him as a fighter? What challenges do you expect to see? And is this something that he possesses that you haven't fought before?
Yeah, so I don't know which one to answer for, but yeah, I think, you know, he's a great fighter. Been a 2-time world champion, only lost to 2 like amazing fighters. So, you know, he's gonna come with confidence. Obviously, he's a lot more experienced than me. I think he's had maybe double the fights. Over double the fights. Boxed at a much higher level, and stuff that he does well. You know, he's really good at counter punching. Although he looks like an aggressive, come forward fighter, a lot of times he's leaning back, taking, you know, in and out steps with his feet, hoping that you know, overextend and he can land good counters. Like if you watch his fight with Steve Cunningham, who was also a world champion, that he beat, it's like, you know, he's waiting for you to overextend. So if I'm going in clumsy, like for example how I boxed against Whyte Camacho, if I make certain, you know, movement patterns like that, it's susceptible to counters. So he's good at that. Then also on the aggressive side, he's very tenacious and very like I don't want to say dirt. What's another word? But he's rough on, you know, the exchanges on the inside. You know, after the break, you have to make sure you're still protecting yourself. And he's been there. You know, he's been knocked down. He's gotten up and won fights. He's been knocked down and had to dust himself off and come again. So there's a lot of positives in his favour. However, I feel that I've got more positives.
You're known for your big right hand. He's a southpaw. Do you feel like the target's easier by being southpaw?
It's a 50-50. So obviously, it's easier to land the right hand straight against the southpaw, or even hook it round, and also to land counter shots to the midsection. However, if their movement pattern is different from what you see every day. So, for example, when I usually set my stuff up with maybe try to keep it long with a jab and come with a big right hand. But with southpaws, when you're throwing jabs with them, their lead hand is in front as well. So you sort of it can turn into a fencing match if you're not switched on. So it works in two ways. Some parts is good, some parts is not so good. But ultimately, it's about imposing the fight to move in the direction and the pace and all the stuff that I want, and then I'll be able to get the victory.
Lawrence, we know activity is important. He hasn't been in the ring for a long time. Do you feel like slight advantage to you, the fact that he hasn't been in the ring? We've seen recently Josh Taylor, Josh Warrington, who haven't been in the ring for a while and take unexpected losses. So do you feel like in your favour?
That's another one that's 50-50, because obviously he's coming off of a controversial stoppage, but still stoppage nonetheless, against Bradis. So the breast could maybe have done him good, because obviously he's been in a lot of hard fights, a lot of miles on the clock, when he boxed Marco Huck, when he boxed Steve Cunningham, other fights. I've watched pretty much all of his fights now. So he's been in a lot of hard fights, which has made him battle hardened, but at the same time it can take something out of you. So having this rest might have rejuvenated him. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm trying not to look at the negatives too much. However, we'll see in the first few rounds how he copes with my range, the judgment of distance. Because sparring is very different from fighting. Like, I know that as well as anyone else. So it's one thing to spar other tall guys or whatever, but when there's also 10-ounce gloves landing on you, it's kind of distracts you from other stuff. And same on his end, he's going to be throwing punches. So I just have to be switched on.
You're gutted that there's going to be no fans in the arena. I know you love your fans. I know you love the noise, the atmosphere, walking into that ring, the adrenaline. I know obviously once you're in the ring, you focus on the fighter, but you gutted. I know you're going to have some close friends and family there, but not, sold out O2 or something.
Yeah, it is. But I think, you know what, it's a bittersweet. I'm able to win it in crazy circumstances, so that will be part of history for me as well. And then also it allows a big, hopefully I'm able to win, or allow a big, eventually when everything's, settled down, to have my first defence or whatever with a crowd. So it's positives, negatives, but I feel all right.
I know in the past you've said you want to win the world title and you want to move up. Now we're hearing you want to win the world title, you want to unify and then potentially move up. Which one is it?
It really depends on how the fight goes on Saturday. In my mind, if it's a tough one. So yeah, it depends how the fight goes. If I show, I don't know, man. I don't know. Personally, I don't know. I just need to win the fight on Saturday. But it's obviously, a lot of my team and that want to see me unify, and I think it cements myself as a cruiserweight, champion. Because winning the title, I don't want to say it's easy. It depends how the fight goes, but it's been quite straightforward. British, Commonwealth, European, world, in 16 fights. So I do feel like I owe it to myself to do a bit more at cruiserweight before I got to heavyweight. And if we're honest, looking at the landscape of the heavyweights as it stands right now, I kind of have to ask myself where I'd fit in this current, do you know what I mean, crop, when you've got the likes of Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, you've got the ones, Uzits and that coming behind, and it's there's a lot of, because I wouldn't want to just move up to heavyweight to now be, fighting at domestic or European level as a heavyweight. I would like to box at world. So I think I'm going to refine my skills a bit more, get a little bit more experience, and then when I got to heavyweight, it'll be to, box at world level as a heavyweight.
Ever thought about bridgerweight?
Obviously that's new. I would do that as well. I think that'd probably be the best sort of transition because the guys would be big, but not much bigger than cruiserweights, but still, heavier. So maybe, but I just really have to just win on Saturday, and then I'll be a bit more like open with the possibilities.
Have you heard what Derek Chisora said?
I have heard it. I watched the interview. I liked it. Good interview. I like Derek. Like initially I wasn't sure, but once obviously now I've got to know him, and I like Derek a lot. He's someone that always has time for me. Always have time for him, and he's been an extreme help. Even like with, for example, this camp. He was boxing Uzbek, so we had a lot of southpaws, and he just gave me all their contact details. And it helped make it happen. I wouldn't have had the sparring I had now without him, so I have to give him a shout out.
I was referring to obviously one of the comments he made. I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to either, where he said, "I want Lawrence should beat Glowacki on Saturday, then he should chase Dillian Whyte."
For me, thank you for the confidence for me from Derek. For me, obviously, I'll win the fight, and then for me, I don't want to chase anyone. If obviously that fight got proposed to me, I would take it, no problems. But it's a case of making it work, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's not. I'm not in the process of chasing after anyone or screaming anyone's name because I've had it done to me, and like I don't really like that energy. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to focus on anyone, but if that fight, made sense, I would take it.
Let's talk a little bit about your multifunctional career, your book. What was the kind of the thoughts behind writing a book, and when do we expect it to come out, launch? And I'm hearing there's going to be a bit of a tour as well.
Okay, that'd be nice. I don't know. They haven't told me the tour stuff. I think I have to win the fight.
The launch of the book.
I think there would be obviously I'd have to win the fight because to be in the right mindset. However, I think it's April the 8th. And really writing the book, like it's I did an interview and Fern Cotton, was there and present. She heard it and like she said she was just blown away by my story and how I articulated it, and to see the transition, because obviously I'm tall, strong guy, boxer, whatever, champion of this and that, so and quite confident. So you would never really look at me on first sight and say, this is a guy that was bullied, or this is a guy that was overweight, or any of that stuff. And she said that transition is just mind-boggling to her. And then she had to see proof. Like, I need to see pictures of you when you were bigger and shoulder. And then she's just like, you know what? Like, you need to get this out there to people. But obviously, I was a little bit in an RM with my team because it's like there's so much stuff I want to go on and achieve, world titles, blah blah blah. But then it was sort of sold to me in a way where it's like, although I have my own aspirations to go on and do more, as it stands right now, there's a potentially a kid or someone working a job they don't want to work that might just read the book, hear my story, and think, if this guy from Hackney or whatever could do it, then I could. And it's almost wrong of me not to kind of at least try. Do you know what I mean? So with me, like, I just put my pride to the side and ego and just said, you know what, I'm going to talk about certain stuff, I'm going to get it out there, and that's that.
When's the album coming out?
Album? That one's a different kind of question. I don't know. But for me, obviously, once again, win this fight, and then I'll have more stuff to talk about as a world champion. Do you know what I'm saying?
What's the plan with the ring walk? Are you going to play the tune, or are you going to do some? I was actually thinking, why don't you just grab the mic and sing yourself into the ring on Saturday night?
I can't do it. I'm a confident guy, but that's the type of confidence I do not have.
That's like an Adrian Broner type confidence.
I think I don't have that type of confidence, and also that when it comes to fight time, I'm so focused on rehearsing the game plan on my ring walk and thinking about what shots I'm gonna literally start the fight, aiming to throw. It's too distracting. I could play my song. It's got some explicit content, so I don't know if it will be able to play on Sky anyway. But we'll see over the next couple of days what we can do. But ultimately, I'm just going to enjoy myself.
I want to end on these final two questions. 258 management obviously got behind you, backed you, supported you. You were the first person to sign. Obviously, they've got some great fighters: Boazzi, Case Ashfaq, Ramla Ali, Sissoko, you'll be the first one from the group that they've signed to win a world title. So is that quite a nice feeling as well, and to set a standard for the rest of them to follow as well, hopefully?
Yeah, it's a blessing. Obviously, the sort of belief that they had in me, you know, coming off the Olympics, you know, the sort of education and just a lot of that stuff. It would be nice to sort of, you know, give them like their first world champion and allow them to even take that and show other people that we've got someone from amateurs to a world title. So that's going to be great. And I feel like everyone in that setup, everyone that I went to Olympics with, everyone in the 258 setup, everyone has the ability to go on and do amazing things. I'm just happy to sort of lead the way.
What happens on Saturday night? Are we going to hear the bell at the end, 12 rounds, or is this going to go before?
I personally think it will go before. It's hard to say, you know, it's really hard to say. It really depends on what kind of Glowacki turns up, you know. If the inactivity has caught up with him, or age, or the stoppage loss, then it will be extremely violent and early. However, if he has come back rejuvenated and switched on and hungry and motivated, then it could be, you know, a long, hard fight. But either way, I'm ready to win.
Okay, Lawrence, appreciate your time. Thank you for letting me come into your nice little suite here with your PS5.
Yeah, that is what got me through the 24-hour quarantine. It's nice as well to have upgraded room. I cried and begged last time they didn't give it to me. This time they did. So it's I have to win this fight to keep getting sweets.
Wish you nothing but health. Hope you come out well after the fight, and I'm sure we'll catch up after the fight. Lawrence Okolie, IFL TV. Thank you very much.
Thank you.